No state has done more for voting rights and voting access this year than Virginia, and the leadership role on those reforms was played by women. Hi, I'm Hedrick Smith, longtime New York Times correspondent and former Washington bureau chief and creator of investigative documentaries for PBS and Frontline. Go back half a dozen years and the Virginia state government looks very deep South and deep red. It was run by Republicans and managed by men. Democrats were totally outgunned, and there weren't very many women, only 24 women out of 140 state lawmakers in the two houses. But that old, comfortable boys' club in Richmond was in for a big shock. The last two state elections have totally flipped that situation upside down. The first big blue wave came in 2017, mainly in the northern Virginia suburbs across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. Democrats flipped 15 Republican seats that year, and 11 of the winners were women. The 2019 election finished the job. 7 more Republican seats flipped, 2 more women elected, and suddenly, for the first time in 2 decades, Democrats were in control of both houses of the state legislature, plus a Democratic governor. And what's even more amazing, with 41 women in the legislature, women had every single leadership position in the state legislature. President pro tem of the Senate, Majority Leader of the House of Delegates, and for the first time in 401 years, a woman was Speaker of the House of Delegates in the home of Thomas Jefferson. She was Eileen Filler-Corn, a 55-year-old mother of 2 grown children, a veteran of 5 terms in the legislature, and a former aide to 2 former Democratic governors in the state. Filler-Corn is known as an activist, a doer, ambitious, energetic, smart, savvy, and willing to come down off the dais and rally her own troops, or even do the unprecedented walk across the state capitol to negotiate with the opposition in the state Senate to get a budget passed. When they came into power, Filler-Corn and the Democratic majority were riding a tide of pent-up demand for reform from Virginia voters on all kinds of issues across the board. Gun safety was a big one, women's rights, ERA, higher state minimum wage, but nothing was more important than a package of voting right reforms. Now, most states do reform step by step. Do one year, do another one the next year. Not in Virginia, not with Filler-Corn driving the bus. She pushed the whole package through in one time. They passed automatic voter registration when you renew your driver's license and contact certain state agencies. Same-day registration on Election Day. You can register when you go to cast your ballot. Changing the rules for absentee ballot, no excuse needed. Anyone can get it. Protection of minority rights, and maybe most important, getting rid of the controversial photo ID law that courts had said discriminated against minority voters and sometimes university students. It was an ambitious package. It was an impressive achievement. It broke with the past in Richmond. It broke with what other southern states have been struggling with, states like Alabama or Texas or North Carolina. In fact, take a look at the battle in North Carolina next door. You can see it on our video. Just click on that little button down there. You'll find it fascinating.